up to another good morning. Time to go. Oh, we are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all.
Welcome back to the 3x5 Live
podcast.
On this podcast, we talk about mindset, mindfulness, productivity, everything self-development. Last week, we just kind of riffed about my issues with finding inner peace, how I tried to overcome them through my lightness.
Yeah. He's feeling all the inner peace this week, friends.
I am. I'm back.
We're feeling good.
And what are we talking about this week, Jess?
So a couple weeks ago, back in February for Valentine's Day, we touched on Jay Shetty's book, 8 Rules of Love. Yep. And I went through a couple of those rules. But this week, I'm going to circle back to one that I didn't touch upon, but definitely really loved listening and exploring. And it was, your partner is your guru.
Obviously.
Which had me kind of scratching my head and really thinking about, and his when Jay was talking about this in the podcast or, in the book itself, he was talking about how a lot of times when we enter a partnership, we do it for like entertainment. We do it for pleasure. We're attracted to somebody and, they make us feel a certain feeling. And that's what we chase when we're entering relationships. But as you get deeper into that relationship, you recognize that to have a foundation, there has to be other pieces to that. Yeah. And one of the things he talks about as being a huge impact on your relationship is using that person as an opportunity to learn and grow. Mm-hmm. So education, right? So you're looking for enlightenment more than entertainment.
Yes. And I hold on though, but I think putting a pin in that there, you did that for me. Really, in the beginning of our relationship, you were that enlightenment where you were doing things that were different from like a diet lifestyle way of living than the general population. I think it's way more in vogue now than it was 15 years ago. But so that point, like, I definitely think that you hit me between the eyes with.
And so that was something that you learned and from me, right? So looking
Correct.
For opportunities to recognize that you are two individual people and you're learning and growing individually. And so what that person's learning or interested in or their strengths might be completely different than your own. And so one of the things that they talk about is growing together and finding purpose in what the other person is doing just as much as your own purpose, because it could look really different. There was something else that he talked about where it was encouraging, along the lines of what you said, encouraging that person to find their own inner voice. Mm-hmm. And I love this so much because when he did start to make the shift, so I had obviously started my health and well-being journey a little bit sooner. It was for dietary reasons and I was just trying to heal. But when we first started dating, I really made sure, and I think you can attest to this, that I never shoved what I was doing down his throat. I wasn't, trying to champion him into being this specific person because I recognized that he had to come to that on his own. It's that idea of helping someone learn to heal themselves, because he talks about the idea of making somebody feel like they're broken, right? So it's if you try to fix that person by constantly giving advice that's like unwarranted or unneeded or unnecessary, then that person automatically feels broken.
And it's almost like a shaming too.
Right.
Like I would have felt like you're shaming me for not being whatever you wanted me to be.
So being a guru isn't just being the teacher, it's being the learner. And I think that piece is, how do we do that? How do we learn? How do we put ourselves in that learning, growing mindset where we aren't feeling threatened by that person's success or if they're doing something? And this is something we all battle with. Like I wouldn't say jealous is the word, but Bryan's consistency and his focus and his like never missing a day of like working out or doing his mindfulness. There are feelings sometimes where it's not resentment, but it's like, what the heck? There is like a feeling of that. And it's very easy to fall into that like child-parent relationship within a relationship too, where you feel like I would like almost throw a temper tantrum or be like this, where then you would have to parent me. And so you telling me, well, get up and do it then, like set your alarm for 5 o'clock. And but like, he knows that doesn't work for me. Yes. That's not a partnership. That is like someone telling you what to do. So the guru piece is being who you are authentically and the person naturally wanting to know about it. So I like the idea of it's telling you to be a learner, to be someone who's invested enough in what your partner is doing to see whatever that is, how you can glean opportunities to grow and evolve in that partnership.
Yeah. So I think the one thing there that might be missing a little is, does that partner have a fixed mindset versus growth mindset?
Mhm.
You can have a growth mindset, but your growth mindset might not be in the health space. It might be in another space. But if you generally have a growth mindset, then that partner will eventually maybe come around. Just seeing your consistent actions, seeing how these things might be benefiting you, then they're like, hey, maybe I'll try that out.
But they have to come to it on their own. If
Yes,
I've learned anything,
totally.
it's that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like, that is something that I say so many times,
Mhm.
because even in my work that I do as a health coach, or I do in that sphere, I can give you the tools and the resources, but allowing that person to find the tools to heal themselves. It is not my job to heal or fix anybody. It's my job to give you information so that when you're ready to do it yourself, you have what you need and those tools available to you. But that idea of loving someone, meaning making them fall more in love with themselves. Like, how do you, so like,
Say that again.
so it's loving someone means making them fall more in love with themselves.
Yes. Okay.
So it's that being like a cheerleader. And like you said, that fixed and growth mindset. I can tell you that a lot of times when I talk to people about this topic of relationships, usually there's one partner that is on a growth trajectory and one partner that might be like stale or stagnant. And so the immediate reaction is to go into like kicking that person's butt, like, get off the couch and do something. Why don't you have something? And we become that parent-child relationship, like I was talking. I guess I should unpack that a little more. That's when you become someone who is demeaning or bossy, or like making that person feel like you know better than they do at something. But what a partner does is they try to support that person in finding something, anything that they're excited about. There has to be something. There has to be something that person's excited about. And so you finding opportunities to talk about it, participate in it, support it, be a cheerleader for it. Mm-hmm. The more that person becomes confident in whatever it is, the more you, as the partner, is going to become attracted to them. There's nothing more attractive than seeing someone that you love being on purpose. It really is like the number one.
Well said.
Thing.
Yeah. And what you're just saying, being that champion is only encouraging them to fall more in love with themselves. Mm-hmm. So if all of a sudden, like we all know, like if all of a sudden you lost that last 5 pounds, or you were 50 pounds overweight and you lose 10, 20 pounds, like suddenly your inner love feels better. So you're just going to be a better partner mm-hmm. for that other person because mm-hmm. you love yourself more. And as for your partner's encouraging yourself.
Yeah, the shining the light on it.
Shining the light on it, then it just makes that partnership, that love grow stronger.
Right. Any other thing about the child-parent relationship that you want to unpack? Sometimes we fall into this, for sure. There's things that are important to Bryan and maybe less so for me. Mm-hmm. That like the expectations, like, I mean, one of your triggers is like dishes in the sink.
Yep. You just got to rinse the egg off the dish. Because if you don't rinse the egg off the dish, then it just sticks there and it shards, and it takes 10 minutes to clean it instead of 2 seconds.
So this is literally the conversation that we have.
So this is me just being the parent.
That's the parent,
I just
right?
parented
so
out.
Think about those moments that is, and I wanted to do that example because I knew he was going to fall right into that trap because it is a consistent argument that we have. But you could see his tone, even the way he was moving his hands, right? He literally just disciplined me as if I was his child. So think about those moments and those conversations you have. And listen, there are things that your partner is going to do that annoy the crap out of you. And in fact, the same things that annoy you are the same things every day that they're consistent. You know this. So instead of falling into that parent-child relationship, flip the script and figure out how you can do it more of a partnership. Like, I don't know, you rinse the egg off the dish. Then that was solve, but like those opportunities to see when you fall into that parent where you're literally pointing your finger and trying to discipline or get your point across in a way that is condescending, watching your tone, watching your body language, figuring out ways to change that and being like, what can I use in this opportunity to learn, grow with my partner so that we can come to a conclusion that's going to feel like it's a together decision versus a like me forcing it down his throat sort of thing. Yeah. Or vice versa. So anyway, I loved this idea. I thought it was funny when it said your partner is your guru, but I'm very lucky that I do have a partner that has amazing qualities and things that he's working on in his life. He is always trying to improve and be better. And I'm doing the same, but in maybe different avenues and different aspects. And they're not the same trajectory, but there is always nuggets that I can glean from what he's doing and want to know more about and ask questions about and be invested in, because that is the point of a partnership, is to be able to evolve together.
Yeah, right. If you're both on some sort of growth trajectory, even if it's separate lanes of growth, it's just beautiful to see that person evolving. And you can learn so much from them and get inspired from them. You know, like we say sometimes when we're having an off day, like, hey, I'm only at 40%. Can you take the extra 60%? You know, and when you're both growing and living off each other's energy, it's a lot easier to do.
For sure. Yes. Anyway, that's what we want to unpack with you this week.
Awesome.
Find your guru.
Find your
and
guru.
your partner.
You're my guru, Jessie.
Thanks, babe. You too.
All right.
All right. See ya. Bye.
We are all